welcome to the Open Mic Comedy Podcast. My name's Mark. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. This podcast is here for everybody in the open mic comedy circuit, whether you're an MC, a promoter, a tutor, hey, even somebody that just wants to watch comedy in a pub basement, but give the support for the up-and-coming newcomers. If you're thinking I could give that a go, then you'll hear stories from those right in the middle of the circuit. Today's guest is someone who's, how can I put this? He has a fetish for Tupperware. he likes to do a bit of teaching with Malcolm X, but he's still trying to work out what happened to the other 9 Malcolms. He's the master of ceremony at Comedy Incorporated 3 times a week in London. Please welcome to the stage, it's Mr. Steve Mayne.
Thank you. That's a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Cox.
That's okay.
How are we doing, son?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not bad. Apart from the knee. The knee has issues, but we're powering through.
Yeah.
We're powering through. We all have the disclaimer that I'm on painkillers at the start, so yes. Don't believe anything I say.
So you have to be, the crutch is off
the crutch is off camera, but it was used to get here.
No, thank you for making the effort to come all the way to Hertfordshire to talk to me in a little room.
Yeah.
Surrounded by some lights and hopefully we'll have some fun.
Don't worry, I spent a lot of time locked in little rooms. I'll be right. We'll be okay. But great. You were at Oasis last night?
I was at Oasis, yes. So we're giving away when this is recorded. This is recorded Saturday, 26th of July. I was lucky enough to be at Oasis.
Was it? Yeah.
The first Wembley show.
Good.
Excellent. Highly recommended. If you can get a ticket and you don't feel like you're being ripped off, go for it.
By the time this goes out...
there'll be September dates.
Yeah. But
in London.
What you forgot about is the reunion.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
They're bound to break up at some point, but no. Top quality night, great fun, and yeah, it's highly recommended.
Good.
But enough about them two brothers. We're here to talk about comedy. So what's the first question I always ask everyone is your comedy journey.
Oh, my comedy journey.
Yes. How did it begin and when did it begin?
My love for comedy just came from my family, really. I come from the East End of London, so like Mad Crazy Stories was just like part and parcel of any family or like friend gathering.
Yeah.
And I always really like that style of comedy. I like the concept that art brings people together and shows you an element of their lives or their background you might not realise, you might not even know exist.
Yeah.
Which is why we've got Tall Tales and Cocktails. Which is the idea of like the stories and giving more of an idea about an individual. And I think comedy does that wonderfully in an art form like songs do, or paintings do. And it's the bringing it together. And then like the love of like sitting all together as a family watching like Only Fools and Horses.
Classic.
Which was like quite similar to my upbringing anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just those things like being brought together and the ability to laugh, like laughter breaks like the tension in any situation. And it's something that is universal. It's just a beautiful thing. I love comedy. So
what made you first think about going onto a stage?
Well, it was Pete. He always tells me off because it was Pete Merriman for fucking ever. Are we allowed to swear?
You can swear.
Okay, I won't overly swear because that would be wrong. But apologies, Pete, and apologies, audience, swearing. But so Pete Merriman, I think it's just Pete Merry now. I've known for years and years and years. I've known for like 10 years. He does comedy by the canal.
Okay.
Near the McVitie's factory, something else. I can't quite remember it, but it's near the biscuit factory. It's quite a nice bar to do, and a lovely guy. And he was doing comedy way before me. I met him when I was a student and I was working. And so we used to go and watch comedy together, and then he started doing comedy.
Yeah.
And then I started working in the city, and we were still friends. And then I stopped working in the city, and he was like, we should get on stage then. And yeah, so he got me my first ever gig at the Groovy Grove.
And when was that?
Oh, I think it's either 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I always forget how long I've been doing comedy for. And then I'll go, I was at that gig like ages ago. Or you remember, like, I haven't seen you for ages. And they go, I haven't done comedy for 4 years. And you're like, but you were there when I started. So yeah, I think I've been doing comedy. It's either 4 years minus a year for bad behaviour or 5 years minus a year for bad behaviour.
Yeah.
But we'll go for 4. I think that makes more sense.
Okay.
Well, but I really think, even though I was performing, I've never really thought I started doing comedy till really this time last year, which is when we started doing, which was Laughs on the Lane.
Yes.
As you well remember, trying to fix the sound desk.
Yeah.
And now obviously that's become Comedy Incorporated. So now I've promoted over 100 shows.
Oh, okay.
So that's put on. I've hosted all of them, I think, apart from a couple James Townsend did. Massive love to Jimmy the Hat.
Yeah.
For when I was either I was in hospital. So that's when I kind of felt like I started. So as in all my concentration was just comedy, as opposed to it was something I did. Yeah.
So when you first got on stage, what you haven't gone through the I guess the more traditional route nowadays is the courses and all of that kind of stuff. You just got on stage but how? I'm intrigued how you prepare.
Oh, do you know
when
what?
you do that for the first time with no real?
I had an idea of some jokes I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I think I was booked for 5, probably managed 3.5. But something I did do, which is annoying when you're in the audience, is when someone goes, "Oh, how long have I got left?" And then they go, "Got 1.5 minutes."
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh, what should I talk to you about?" I hate that so much. And so I just left on my best joke and left early.
Yeah.
And let the MC worry about filling in the time. But standing there clicking your fingers and going, "Oh, I thought about this on the bus." Yeah, it's something I deeply don't like. No, I've thrown that in. You've caught me on painkillers. But so when I was preparing it, I think I just love comedy. I love watching it. I love listening to it. The efficiency of wording, I'm particularly fond of.
Yeah, I for people that have never done comedy and are listening to this for whatever bizarre reason, the efficiency of words is something that you don't ever understand until you've done a few gigs and then you see how other people do their bits and you kind of go, you said more by saying less. So doing that.
But if you think about it, when you start, you've got 5 minutes. If you think you do 100 words a minute, you've got 500 words. So if you can get something across which you were using 50 words for, but you're now using 30, not only are you going to get to the punchline quicker, which generally 9 times out of 10 is the best way. You want to get there quicker, unless it's some long, crazy, meta thing. And you get an opportunity to do another joke. Yeah. If I can save off 10 words from every single joke I'm doing, I get an extra joke or 2 jokes in. Yeah. So your efficiency of wording is key. I think always trying to stimulate as many emotions in the audience as possible is so important. If you can taste where someone is.
Yeah.
If you've walked through Amsterdam's red light district at 2:00 in the morning.
I have.
Yeah. And it feels seedy.
Yeah.
And it smells of weed, but it tastes salty and of despair.
A little bit, yeah.
Right. All of a sudden your audience can vividly paint that picture in their head.
Yeah.
And I think when you've got the audience, you've settled them down in the first little bit of your set. Hi, I'm Steve and I'm fun.
Yeah.
Right? And you've gone, right, now I'm going to take you on a journey. You trust me to take you on a journey. Let's take you on a journey. And everybody's picture in their head of that journey is going to be different for the audience.
Yeah.
So, but the more you can help them with that picture, the more colours you can give them in the palette. And we've got senses and you've got to stimulate all of them. And something which I think might be more of a London thing, I rarely gig outside of London, even though I would have gigged in Amsterdam, is that English isn't their first language. And so I think when you're describing things, if you can keep the descriptions, as universal as possible.
Yeah.
If you're going to use a description of Oasis song, use Wonderwall.
Yeah.
Don't use some obscure B-side. Sometimes being obvious with those things just keeps the audience entertained because they're our boss.
Yeah.
The more they laugh, everything becomes easier.
Yeah, I think it took me a little while to actually appreciate that you have to buy the audience's trust before you go into other material. And if you don't, you kind of end up starting on the back foot.
Yeah,
and if you start on the back foot, it's so much harder then to get them to buy into what you want.
Well, I think it's Carl Wallace. Carl Wallace knows what he's doing. Is the boss, is my mentor. He's a brilliant guy. Go and do G&B and listen to Carl. But he when I first started, he pulled me aside and he went, if you just start with city stories, you're alienating the audience.
Yeah.
Right? Your opening joke must be as universal for everybody as possible. Tell Joe, the weather, the journey here.
Yeah.
Right? Something everyone has to have experienced, or virtually everyone's going to have to experience. Because as soon as you get them on side and they're paying attention, the concentration and the laughter in the audience is contagious.
Yeah.
right? If everybody is constantly giggling and paying attention, then you're doing fine. I don't know why people ask me about comedy because I know nothing about it. Like, I'm the worst person. What do you think of my set? I don't know. I don't know anything. As long as you're happy with your art, that's the important thing. But if you are going to ask people what you think, just listen back. We're being judged by the audience.
Yeah.
You don't like being judged, do not be a comic.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't like people telling you that wasn't very good, don't be a comic. Because that's all our job ever is being judged every time we go on stage.
Yeah.
But if you listen back to your videos or your audio recording, if there's complete silence or laughter, good. If you can hear people talking, you can see them playing on their phones, you don't have their attention.
Yeah.
If you don't have their attention, you're not communicating with them properly. And that's the only bit of advice you should ever give anyone. Listen to the audience. If the audience aren't paying attention to you for that 30 seconds, that 30 seconds is not good enough. Change it.
Yeah. So can you pick out any of your particular worst moments you've had on stage? And let's go.
Oh, Mark.
Let's go for best moment first, because the worst are usually funniest.
Oh, so
I've had
loads of good moments. So we did Tall Tales at the Dugdale Centre at Enfield. So that was like the biggest audience I would ever promoted to.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, as I'm sure you can imagine. Selling out the Rosemary branch. Big up Rosemary branch, Helen and Laura. Thank you for all your help. Like we sold that out like 3 or 4 times in a row. Like that's always brilliant. Like full houses. When you go on this full house, they're all there and they're all ready to have fun. That's the most amazing thing. That's why we do it. There's obviously little things that I suppose that like the comics will get when it's the first time you've tried a joke and it works and you're like,
yes,
back on there, to use an Alan Partridge. But yeah, that's always great. It's always great. And never say it's a new joke. Can people please stop doing this? Or when it doesn't work, go, oh, it was new material anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop doing it.
Yeah.
Don't. I hate it.
But has there been a moment you've kind of walked off the stage and gone, that's why I do this?
Yeah. So yeah, normally at the Tall Tales, because even though we've had some brilliant nights. I won't talk about like past venues for Comedy Incorporated, but at every single one of them, without fail, we had brilliant nights. Like in South London, you get 70 or 80 people under that rail arch. Like it was magnificent. We had some absolutely brilliant nights then, and like whatever happened, and that's never going to take those moments away. Like I think we've had brilliant moments. Like you've been at brilliant moments. We've done podcasts underneath rail arches. Yep. We've had to see Jimmy the Hat run about bonkers.
Yeah,
riding brooms. There's so many brilliant moments in comedy. Just to say it's been on stage is unfair. Okay. Falling off stages, we've done.
Yeah.
We've done that. I have. You haven't, obviously, but I've
hobbled on a stage.
I am hobbling on stages at the moment. Falling off a stage, we've done that as well.
I remember twisting my ankle quite badly at the start of 25 and turning up to Comedy Incorporated. Like my ankle is comfortably stuck in my shoe.
Ouch.
And I took Cocodamols and a beer just to calm down, and I've hobbled on stage, and I remember making a comment or something along the lines of, if you see me leaning to one side, it's nothing, it's just that I think I might have broken my ankle and I'm just trying to take the weight off of it. So go easy on me. Yeah.
Have you injured yourself on stage though and then needed to stay on?
No.
This was right now, very first started 2 years ago, we did a healing comedy when it was actually an healing. I don't think it is now, but a brilliant gig. I think a guy called Rudy runs it, always a lovely dude, like lovely people. But it was like one of my first gigs, like I'd been under 20 gigs years and years ago. And I used to do a bit about audience training. No one's ever shown you how to be a good audience. I'll show you how to be a good audience. Right, step 1 is do this. Yep. Step 2 is bring it back. Step 3, go back. Now do all 3 steps really quickly. And get them to standing around. Blah, blah. Very, seems cringy now, but yeah, that's what I was doing at the time. And I've gone up and jumped up to clap, and I've tripped around the wire of the microphone, and I've come down on the side of my ankle, twisted my ankle so I can't put any weight on it in the middle of the set. Yeah. Yeah, that was not my greatest moment, but yeah, it's all fun, it's all learning.
Yeah, what about worst?
I've clearly got one worst moment.
That's your worst?
No. I was doing a roast battle at the Bill Murray, and I've done 3 of them. And I forgot rule number 1. Like, this is all my fault, by the way. The only reason this was terrible is this was my fault. It's rule number one. Rule number one is the audience is in charge. And I don't want to break the illusion of roast battles, but generally with roast battles, you write with the other person, or like you'll have a concept of what you should talk about.
Yeah.
So the last one I did was with my good friend Gary Walsh. Big up, Gary. Last one I did was with him. And so you kind of talk and you like, you know, so you got an idea of what's going to happen. And on one of them I did, and I was like, I lost the first one to Duffy Connors, and I'm still up for a rematch, Duffy, by the way. And the next one I did, I was like, right, I'm going to win. I'm going to be the funniest on stage. And chose him. He doesn't even do comedy anymore. Still a good friend of mine, but didn't do comedy. And so it was like, oh, I'll win. But what you forget is the audience must laugh.
Yeah.
And rule number one, and it's the horrible way to learn it, because it's at the Bill Murray.
Yeah.
And it's full, and I do a joke that doesn't work, he does a joke that doesn't work, I do a joke that doesn't work, he does, I kind of get a half murmur, and it was horrible. And I left. And you're supposed to pick up a check, at the time. I just walked out. I was like so embarrassed, it was horrible. It was, yeah. They've had me back since, so it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it took a few years, but I had a lovely time last time I was there with Gary. I'm quite up for roast battles, I'm quite happy with them. I like the environment of being able to roast. I don't like roasting in general at like open mic shows.
Yeah.
I hate it when acts roast the audience. I really dislike that. It's oddly one of my rules.
Yes.
I'm not allowed to roast the audience. But yeah, in like those environments where you are allowed hecklers or you are allowed roasting, I'm all for the environment of it existing.
I've had a friend of mine that's constantly been saying to me, I think you'd be really good at it. I think you should do it. And I'm just like, I don't think I can be horrible to someone. And in essence, you're not being you're being horrible with consent for the sake of humour. I've done workshops with some people before, and we've had to do almost like a mini roast battle against somebody. You're supposed to pick something out about that person and criticise it or make it funny, etc. Bless you, Julie, but I can never do it. I find it so. She's like, just go harder and whatever you want. I'm like, I can't.
Like, comedy is all about the surprise. It's the unknown.
Yeah.
So I would say, with Gary. Gary got rid of his cancer with weed and chemotherapy. Gary's girlfriend got rid of her cancer by dumping Gary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? You don't need to. You don't need to like point at someone's shoes or whatever or their socks. There's other ways to roast them.
Yeah.
But they're good. Like it's a brilliant working environment. Like it's a good writing environment, and going out of how you normally write to like set yourselves those challenges. But I'm personally not a fan of the gong shows. I've done one and got through it. It was like a tiny little one, not a big one, just tiny ones, and got through. But I didn't like the audience interaction. I didn't really. It's nice as a writing exercise because you've got to be tight with your words, the way you're trying to spread out the laughter, because you get your first minute, so you can set everything up in your minute, because you can't be knocked out. And then obviously within in the last 10 seconds of the minute, you want to start getting laughter, so people are clapping and not waving. And like there's underlying structure to it, which I appreciate. But I don't. For me personally, I don't really care.
No, I think there is that habit where you've got the MC that has to try and get the crowd riled up to, you can't be there all night. But
I think it's just a different form of comedy.
Yeah.
Like you've got, 2020 cricket, you've got Test match cricket and all the other little bits.
Yeah.
It's just not, like it is comedy. I just don't do it. It's just not for me.
No.
I'd prefer to see Billy Connolly. I don't think Billy Connolly would win a gong show.
It's interesting, isn't it? When we've got this whole thing on TV now, like the Masked Singer and all of that. It would be so funny to have a gong show with famous comedians.
A masked comic.
But masked and voiced differently. And you see who gets through.
Oh, the voice differently would make it really difficult.
Yeah, I know.
Just to do your job.
Yeah.
If your voice was being altered. But yeah, dressed up differently would be interesting. Well, I remember what people saying just at open mic nights, if randomly a very famous comic just walked in, especially out in America, nobody who really knew who they were in England, so you didn't get the wow, Mickey Flanagan's just walked in or whatever, like just some whoever just supported Seinfeld, I wouldn't know who that was, but I assume they're pretty good, right? And they just turned up in a night in Camden or somewhere and Clapham. How well would they do? But then if all of a sudden they did an identical set at this big arena with 10,000 people would come to watch comedy.
Yeah.
But I think there can't be any comic at the top of the tree that hasn't done all these things. And some people say that with comedy, like the big comics never claim they were open mic comics. They won't go, oh, I remember doing TNT or I remember doing this, but they must have.
Yeah, there are some. I spoke about him in the last podcast, Ishan Akbar, who's now gone on to, he's now doing things like shows at Leicester Square Theatre and tours around the UK. And I enjoyed his comedy before I got into comedy, before I started doing it, and just Googling, and he's like, oh, he performed at this place. Oh, you performed in at We Are Funny Project.
Yeah.
And you see videos of that, and you're just like, this is really weird. But he's quite open about.
But I think you've got to be. Everyone like lauds the Beatles for going to Frankfurt, don't they? like in any other form of art, going through all of this hardship is what like crafts you and sharpens you and turns you into that performance diamond through the pressure.
Yeah.
Like going, oh yeah, now I'm at Wembley. Hey, like it kind of, for me, that seems more fake. I don't like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's like an underlying issue with the, you know, like the karaoke talent competitions they have on TV.
Yeah.
Like what's the old Rick Mayo joke? I could play Stairway to Heaven when I was 17. Jimmy Page didn't even write it when he was 22. What's that telling you?
Yeah.
Like loads of people think, but you've got to be able to write the songs. You've got to be able to write, you know. Thankfully, what we don't have, like we don't have comedy karaoke. Like people going out and doing out. Well, I thought I was only out.
I've actually always been intrigued by that. I know there are a few acts out there that do, that are basically the tribute acts to comedians.
Yeah, you need to be like, I suppose Peter Kay might have a tribute act.
Yeah, Peter Kay has, and so has Lee Evans.
Oh. I mean, Lee Evans doesn't tour anymore.
No. But it'd be weird to see what a Lee Evans impersonator is like, because you kind of think of Lee as just very unique.
Flying about the stadium, yeah. Like, would you go and see a Bill Hicks tribute act? Because Bill Hicks would hate it.
I know. But there's part of me that think you'd be curious, wouldn't you?
But you'd know what all the jokes are. Now,
I know.
Now, like, but you wouldn't see Oasis and you know every single song they're going to play, like, right? But I think music hits you differently.
Yes, of course.
I don't think if you were, like, I suppose when the Monty Python toured, do they still do He's Not the Messiah, He's a Naughty Boy? Like,
don't know.
I don't know what they do. But just something becomes so famous. Like when you're doing the Dead Parrot sketch, everyone's going, it's not dead, it's deceased, it's pushing up the daisies. No, it's not. Look, you startled it.
Yeah.
Like, is it become so famous? Like when Spinal Tap comes on, if they don't turn their amps up to 11, are you going to be disappointed?
Yeah, probably.
I think if you're in a band and you're like in a tribute band, you're like, yeah, but I'm still playing music and I'm still on the side doing my thing. If you're a comedy tribute act,
it's not your words, is it?
It's not your, like, you're not like practicing playing guitar or the drums, are you?
No.
You're practicing stagecraft, but it's not even your stagecraft because you've got to mimic someone else's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
No, but it's an interesting one, how comedy's so separate.
I did the swops thing at GMB.
I really, really wanted to go along to that. For some
Big
reason,
shout out to Nick Bain and his two husbands. I love you all.
And that was, that looked like a huge amount of fun. So to give a bit of context for what we're talking about, there was a Swapsies event that GMB put on where you would perform as someone else. So you could either, I don't know what the exact rules were. So you're performing someone else, but someone in like the open mic comedy world, not as in like a famous act. So it was like all very much, you know, the Fendi comics, like jolly, really. I think it probably ended up as, but it was such a brilliant night. And so, yeah, you put your name forward and then Kyle chose who you were performing as. And I got Nick Bain. I had to do Nick's set. And Nick has two husbands and lives in Dalston. And so his act is very different to my normal act. And I've got no doubt that Kyle was choosing people's acts to help, you know, you perform in a different way or look at performing differently. And to have somebody's being a bit of a puppet master doing that, it was like a very useful exercise and an amazing day because we all had so much fun. It was full, hammered afterwards. I think Kyle should, assuming he did film it, he should release that as just like a 2-hour thing.
I've got my recording.
Yeah.
Of me dressed up as Nick Bain, yeah.
But there was one in particular I remember seeing, was MJ Hunter dressed as Kyle.
Yeah. So he came on to MC.
Yeah.
And they swapped over waistcoats. So actually when he came on, hello. So edit that bit out, he'll shoot me. But yeah, so he was just doing like the Carl mannerisms.
Yeah.
But, Jimbo did Barbara Fernandez.
Wow, that's a difference.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. Jimbo's a legend. Jimbo's like Stuart Lee talks about Jimbo, right? Like a proper comic. And Jimbo's obviously that very clowny.
Yeah.
Clowny. He's got that squeak like thing he does. And so like when he's singing, he's not even really trying to sing. And it was hilarious. It was the best. Loads of people did brilliant. I think everybody did great. Everyone did great. Everyone just did well.
I think that's such a great concept, especially when you've got a community.
Yeah, most definitely.
When you've got that community, you can really build that in that sort of thing into it and have it as just like a fun night. And it's almost it's a night for the community. Yeah. It's not a night for the outsiders as such, but the outsiders that come in, see it, and go, okay, this looks like it could be fun.
He's doing his 2000th show.
Yeah.
In September. There's me going, I've done 100. Right? But there's nothing he hasn't seen, and is the community that's been built up at G&B. Like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. And when we're doing comedy, we've got to understand the balance we have, and I think this comes from G&B because it's the attitude of the acts and the audience, which are very important to a comedy night. So if you're an act, you go there, you perform, you're getting the feedback from the other acts in the audience. And if you don't watch them and you do not give them your feedback back, then I think that's rude. I think that's an unwritten agreement we all have with each other. Yeah. And you can extrapolate that further, that if you haven't paid attention to the other acts, and like I don't do crowd work at my shows, but other shows do, and that's entirely up to them. But what I have seen is that they'll go up and they'll pick on the same two people, and 4 acts have done that. And you're like, then the audience is now bored. And not only are they annoyed and bored, but they also feel not seen. Yeah. Because everyone's asked me what my name and what I do for a living is. And actually, I'm here trying to pay attention to the jokes and you're not even watching the show. Like that would annoy me as an audience member. Yeah. So you've got to make sure that if it's a night where crowd work's allowed, to make sure that you're not going to ask the same questions. I think that's just polite and professional. Yeah. And secondly, if certain different audiences, and every audience is different, you can do the same venue 2 nights in a row and the audience can be different. You've got to be listening out to what jokes do work and what jokes don't work. Yeah. If someone comes on and they're doing adult R18 vice jokes and it's dying on its arse, you going up and telling them about how you got off your tree at Glastonbury probably isn't going to be the joke they want. No. Right? But if you'd been paying attention and listening in the room, then you would know that. Yep. Now, I understand when you very first start, you might only have that 5 minutes. You're going to do that 5 minutes, even if the person on before you has effectively done the same 5 minutes of Tinder jokes or whatever. Yeah. The current hack thing is Tinder jokes and food with no seasoning are quite common. Yeah. At the moment. And yes, we know the British Museum stole everything. I'm half Irish, half Polish. I don't care, right? That's one of those things. I know English, but it's like, we seem to go through phases that like every 4 months, like a different joke will come into vogue. Yeah, yeah. So you can hear what they've been done if they get laughter, and you can manipulate your acts. It's much harder to open sometimes than it is to close. Yeah, yeah. Because you're gauging everything, and when you do get to open, making sure you've got those 2 or 3 different open jokes. Because if the first one that's trying to get the whole audience doesn't quite work, you need another one. That doesn't work, then you need another one. Yeah. And after that, I've run out of jokes probably. But. Yeah. I've had a couple of instances where when I very first started off and I was getting ready and about to go on stage, the person before me started doing a routine which was on similar veins to what I was. It started off with, have you ever been told you look like someone famous? And that was when I used to wear the David Baddiel t-shirt. Oh. And then the next bit was, have you ever had a conversation with your missus about, and you're not really listening to what she's saying? And I was like, that's the what are you thinking that I used to do. And I've literally followed this guy on. And I've sat there when he's doing it, I've looked at my mate and I've gone, what do I do? And he's gone, I don't know. I'm like, I've got nothing else.
I'm so new to this. What do I do?
But
I actually ended up going on stage and went, well, this is who I think I look like. And if you think you're going to hear something again, I'm not copying. And brought a bit of fun into it, and everyone's kind of like, oh, we're not just hearing the same stuff for the sake of hearing it.
But the audience know you care.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. Because if you can't be funny, be entertaining.
Yeah.
Actually respect the fact that audience is there. And it kind of goes back to the reason I don't like audience roasting, right? So Comedy Incorporated nights, you are not allowed to roast the audience. If you roast the audience, I will never book you again, right? Ever. Like literally, it's the rule in capital letters.
Yeah.
And people are like, why aren't you then doing that? And I'm like, because firstly, crowd work generally doesn't work at our level, right? Let's be realistic to where we currently are. We aren't 15-year professionals, right? Crowd work can go wrong. And if it goes wrong, it can be terrible for a night, right? With my promotion hat on, they're not going to go, oh, it was one of the comics. They're going to assume it was the comedy night.
Yes, I
that
get that.
Affects on the venue as well. And if the venue get a complaint, then I get fired. So it's zero upside for me.
Yeah.
And the amount of time and effort I put in to get bums on seats for some oik who I'm now obviously never booking again, and let's call it what it is, they are generally men, right? It's not worth it. So the rule is no crowd work, no roasting. Now, obviously in practice, someone like the brilliant Yogi Bell, we all love Yogi, love you Yogi, his concept of crowd work is clowning. Right? He comes from the clowning school. So it's like, I've got a balloon on a stick, can you tickle the balloon? It's completely non-offensive.
Yeah.
Right? Someone like the magnificent Jack Scullion.
Yeah,
right?
I was about to say Jack.
Right, Jack's amazing. Super love to Jack. I love Jack so much. And obviously, super congratulations to what he's doing as well. Like, it's a massive inspiration, Jack Scullion. Lots of love for Jack. Like, when he does crowd, he will get people from the crowd. Like, he's allowed to do it at my show. Because I know he's a professional, and he's not going to pick the person who clearly doesn't want to do it. He's got the chops, if that makes sense. He has done it enough. It's his job. Do you know what I mean? But someone who's just done like 50 gigs, I'm not going to let you do your crowd work at my show. No. Like, there are shows where you can go and do crowd work. Go and do them there. That's where you can practice. Right? But like, everyone has their different type of comedy they like. That isn't mine. Yeah, no,
I understand it, especially from the point of view of you want a returning audience. You don't want that audience member to go, oh no, I'm not going to go back there again. And then I'm going to tell 10 friends that I don't think they should go there. Because
it's just basic marketing. If you have a really good experience, you'll tell one person. If you have a bad experience, you'll tell everyone.
Yeah.
But I think that I try not to get on Facebook. Oh, this is going to be edited so oddly, right? But I don't like I very rarely post anything on Facebook at all. I do the events bit. Comedy Incorporated randomly has ended up with 2 pages. It's just got 1. But I don't post in any of the comedy things.
Yeah, the Comedy Collective and all of that.
Because you just, firstly, all I can tell is that every comedy promoter in England is terrible. So that's all you hear. But no one goes, the comic who goes on and goes, oh, I just wrote this on the bus.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to ruin your room and upset all of your audience.
Yeah.
No one ever mentions them, right? Yeah. You're like, but there's one promoter, there's 12, I have 12 acts. Like, that's low for most open mics. And you're like, if I put in a load of love, I expect you to put in love back, if that makes sense. Now, everyone's doing comedy for different reasons.
Yeah.
Someone could be doing comedy because they were always shy and they've always just wanted to do one joke on stage.
Yeah.
And they work really hard and they do it, but they're still working hard to do it. You appreciate and respect that effort because that's their goal. And there's some people who want to make it as a comic, and there's some people who just want to make it in the industry. Right, as in, they might end up being pro or an MC or podcast or whatever. They're kind of finding their footing of where they live in this art form.
Yeah.
But if they're trying hard, you respect them. If you've just written all your jokes on your hand or you've got it on your notebook and you literally wrote it before you go on stage, and then you're going to moan about whatever night it was.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what have you done to deserve anything back? And I think people need to be honest with themselves sometimes.
Comedy Incorporated.
Comedy Incorporated, yes.
I mean, why?
Oh, right. So
what was the reason behind creating?
I want it right. So, I won't put on a gig I wouldn't want to perform at.
No.
That's my promoter philosophy. And that doesn't mean all my gigs are full of people. They aren't always full of people. What it does mean is I always try my best to get people there.
Yeah.
I will go out, I will fly. There will be posters, there will be Instagram and Facebook. Everything a sensible person could think of doing, I will do. And I'll make sure that I've done my best at doing it. So even though the level of comedy obviously isn't professional, I would like to think it's not amateur. I generally book people who've now done over 100 gigs because they're generally the people who are trying to get better and other people want to be around because they inspire me to be better. I don't want someone who haven't seen for 2 months, they hear me doing the same joke. It's embarrassing for me. But it is embarrassing. I want to be progressing in every part. So the whole point of Comedy Incorporated was to give me another opportunity to perform and to put on a good show. And that's what I've always tried my best to do. I think, and I just put in love and effort. And hopefully that encourages other people to come in and put in love and effort. And that's why there's strict rules. And if they're not followed, I just don't book you again. And some people go, oh, you don't book. And I'm like, well, you turned up and you sat at the back and you played on your phone. And on the booking form, it says we expect all acts to sit at the front and clap. Now, in practice, obviously, I don't expect all the acts to sit at the front. No. Obviously, right? And I understand that as an act, I have a before I go on stage, emergency wee. I don't normally even I just normally just go into the bathroom, wash my face, kind of get into game mode, and then go onto the stage. That makes sure I've got the first joke I'm going to do in my head. So I obviously understand that people like kneel about the back. But if you're just going to turn up and not have any interest in the night, I just have no interest in booking you. So it's why we've got a quirky booking form.
The booking form is is very different to a lot of others. In that, a lot of the questions are the same until you get a lot of promoters. I think put the thing at the bottom that says anything else. And that Steve's
I don't do that.
No, Steve's one.
Anything I should know? Because if you've I'll tell you behind it, because I know people have listened to the podcast when I told them the only way to get booked is to fill in the last question. I will not book you if you do not fill in the last question. I cannot say it any clearer again on a similar platform. You just won't get booked. And people are like, oh, why? And I was like, 'cause I need to know you've read everything. That's all. That's it. Because I even say I don't watch videos. I don't watch videos, and I don't care what competitions you've won or entered. And what is funny, people go, I got to did the quarterfinals of this competition. You're like, it starts in the quarterfinals. Why are you bragging about entering a competition you didn't get out of the first round? Like, it doesn't seem good to me because I love comedy and I check. It's the ones that you see where I was the finalist in this, and it's a clap off of an open mic night. Congratulations. I use this as an example, but and I will find it. So as you know, the anything Steve should know, the ones I find funny, I put up on Instagram. So and actually, if they're new people, especially those people message me and how to book spots, and I'll go, I'll be doing a booking form whenever. And it's been delayed recently because I haven't been very well. So I put it up, and so I message the people, the booking forms up. And I kind of flick through like every hour or something, I'll see how many are there. And I noticed somebody who's messaged me loads hadn't filled in the last thing. So I messaged him and went, if you do not fill this in, you will not get booked. And there is a practical reason, is that I export the data and I sort by the last question. So I just don't see anybody who hasn't filled it in. Because I don't have time. I don't. Right. You need, so the booking rules are pretty simple. So we've got 3 venues. So we start on, the last week of August is when all 3 come into practice. Would you like an exclusive?
Go for it.
We'd like an exclusive. So our proper opening night in Balham is on the 4th of September, and we have the wonderful Adam Bloom headlining. So come and check him out. Bring his book. He might sign it. I don't know if he will or not. I'm not going to say he will sign your books. He might not. But Adam Bloom is fantastic and literally wrote the book on comedy. So come and check us out in Balham for our opening night, 4th of September. So nobody knows that. It's not on the booking form. So
otherwise, everyone's going to be picking the 4th of September.
So, but I wouldn't put it on there. So it's just knowing people have gone through the rules. I just want people who love comedy to be there.
But one thing we should clarify is when the little bit at the bottom that says anything Steve should know, he's not expecting you to say, I'm 6'2" and I do this.
It's got nothing about, it doesn't need to be anything about comedy.
No.
My favourite one of all time goes to Kimberly Theodore Janice Hope, one of our favourite acts.
Yes.
We love you, Kim Hope. And her one was, don't believe the hype, Steve. Golden retrievers contain no gold ore. Right? Yeah. I probably butchered that, and it just made me laugh. I think Ashworth normally does good ones.
Oh, I bet he does.
Martin Ashworth normally does good ones. I think he sent me the furthest two distances in Australasia from point to point are wider than the moon. It's like just random, just put around. It's just so I know you've read the rules.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't filled that in, how do I know you're not going to do an ism joke? Being funny is nice, but it's not important. I know it sounds really odd, but if you turn up on time, if you require a bringer, very few people need bringers at my gigs, by the way. If you do require one, and they also turn up, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing how many bringers get the bubonic plague 2 hours before a show. Honestly, you might as well be a drummer in Spinal Tap. You've got a longer life expectancy than a bringer in London. If you require bringers to turn up on, we've got an agreement. I'm going to work my best to get bums on seats.
Yeah.
You work your best to be as funny on stage. Right? And if you've got to turn up someone, turn up with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty simple. And no notes on stage.
Yeah.
If you want the full rules, they're the main rules. No ism jokes of any description at all. If I need to explain what an ism joke is, I won't book you.
Yeah.
Right? No roasting the audience of any description, and no notes on stage. And I will take them off people. And I do have a 3-year-old, so I do normally have baby wipes in my bag. And I've got no issue with rubbing them off someone's hand, because the audience are coming to expect something.
Yeah.
Like there are other, I'll be careful how I say this, because there are so many brilliant people who do such brilliant work in our community. But there are some gigs, I love Nathan Cassidy. Nathan Cassidy's headline Tall Tales and Cocktails, which is about as good as I can give anyone.
Yep.
That's in my power. And he does a brilliant Monday night gig, right? But it's just all comics. But it's known as All Comics, and All Comics Day, I've done it, right? And we just drive brand new stuff, and it's just comics, we chat afterwards, and we talk about the show, right? So that night isn't going to be a night where you go and you know you've got a pro show the next day and you want to do your best 15 there.
Yeah.
That isn't what that show is for, right? And there are some shows where you're doing brand new stuff, and there's some shows where you think, oh, there'll be an audience there. I'm going to practice my pro set. Because, you'll normally be doing pro shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, you want to be practicing those sets.
Yeah.
So you want to practice those sets in front of a bigger audience because you want the most amount of feedback possible.
Yep.
You do all your brand new jokes in front of your comics at your workshops, at all of that type of thing. And so, I always find it bonkers. You've got 70 people in a room. Someone's trying to go up there with notes to new material. I'm like, why don't you record this one and then send it to all the pro bookers so they can see when your best work goes in front of 70 people, you'll get booked more.
Yeah.
Like, you're not thinking of it long term.
Yeah.
Like, not every gig is equal.
Yeah. There's. I guess what you're trying to say is basically there's two different styles of open mic nights. There's open mic nights that try to put on shows, and there's open mic nights that are comedians practicing.
Yeah, 100%.
And both of them have their place.
Oh, 100%. I would like anybody who gives people an opportunity to perform, I'm all for. I'm not against any promoter, ever.
No.
Right? I want everyone to work hard for the art form. And if someone goes to, Marc Cox Incorporated and they have a brilliant time, then they're more likely to go to like the OM or Clapback or Crazy Train. Sorry, Jim, it's just changed its name, hasn't it? Speaking in Tongues Comedy, right? And then they're more likely to come to mine, because when people go out and have fun at a comedy show, they're more likely to go to somebody else's comedy show. When you turn up to a gig and it's like not set up, the MC isn't there, no one knows what the running order is, no one knows how long they're doing on stage, like, you're not helping anyone, really. I find that frustrating, and I appreciate that I might have gone to a gig and something bad had happened. That's what happened. But I try to do as many gigs that aren't mine as physically possible, with a bad knee, running loads of nights, and having a kid and wanting to not get divorced.
I also think it's the different thing about Comedy Incorporated. Okay, you've got the rules, stick to them, etc. Is that this is one of the few nights that then has a stepping stone.
Well, I've always wanted that, and it takes time to do.
Yeah.
And I think this is oh, what, you're not doing pro shows yet? You're like, I've just done 100 shows. I've just promoted 100. I still don't know what I'm doing.
No, but what I mean is that you are, Comedy Incorporated is almost a stepping stone to Tall Tales and Cocktails.
Well, yeah, in a way, but they're different. So Tall Tales, you know, the type of person will wear his own merchandise.
Yeah.
Right? So Tall Tales is just storytelling. It's a storytelling night at the Rosemary Branch Theatre, and we are looking at other theatres constantly. We just did a nice run at the Barons Court Theatre. We've done the Dugdale Centre, the Drayton Arms we've done. So we're always looking for bigger venues, but not everyone does stories.
No.
So if we think of, say, someone like the brilliant Yogi Bell, for example, Yogi Bell, Big Rich, shout out Big Rich, you know, anybody who kind of does those types of more quirky, clowny comedy, Tall Tales isn't really going to be their thing.
No.
So what I'm hoping to do is have a Comedy Incorporated at least one a month that is a pro show. So we've obviously got Adam Bloom, who it is all been emailed and everything. So assuming he turns up, which I assume he will, he's a professional, on the 4th of September. And then I'm hoping at least in Balham once a month, there is budget for acts. And the room in Balham's big. It's like the room in Putney is going to expand. So there's be 80 people there. Mm. And the reason we've got 80 people there, the reason we've got the community supporting us is no one's ever been rude to any member of the community.
Yeah.
Like, there's method to the madness. And we all want to get better. And if I get better as a promoter, well, I'll be able to get more bums on seats. So I need to have comics who are getting better around me, including myself on this, by the way. Yeah. I think I'm a terrible comic, by the way. But but relative to where you want to go, it's like, you know, like you play FIFA.
Used to.
Yeah, whatever, Mark.
No, I used to.
Yeah. So the first time you play FIFA, you're terrible at it.
Yeah.
You've got no idea what you're doing. But sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Then someone teaches you all the buttons, right? And then you just always lose because you're like, I've got to press pass now. Oh, I've missed the opportunity. I've got to press shoot, missed the opportunity. Then all of a sudden, you know when to press pass and shoot, and you can play the game.
Yeah.
Right. I'm now learning after 4-ish years what good comedy is and how far away I am from good comedy. And it's quite depressing. It's not, you're not in comparison with anyone. What you're doing is understanding the mountain you've got to climb to learn to do it. Because I'm sure Dali and Picasso could just do a portrait because they had the skills and learned the fundamentals.
Yeah.
I'm sure Keith Richards can play a blues scale. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lady Gaga definitely can play the piano. Right? You got to learn the tools of the trade before you can fully express.
Yeah.
And I think the more you go on with comedy, the more tools you realise you've got to learn to master before you get to those bigger levels.
Yeah.
And I'm so fortunate that we've got such wonderful people around Comedy Incorporated, like yourself. Like we wouldn't really have the train spotting poster or else it wasn't for you. Big up the Marc Cox, right? Lots of love. But I'm just using that as an example. Like there's loads of people that help. You being one of them, obviously Jim Townsend. Rob Down's been helping a lot recently, really appreciate that, Bobby D, right? And when you've got that community and you've got the trust of the comics, like Kim Hope, obviously, like Caroline Mads, who's wonderful, Emmy Files, the magnificent Steve Vertigo. Like we've got like there are comics that rarely say no to a gig because they want to do it, because they want to help out, they want to perform, like they're getting better, like they're doing right so well. Yeah. It's so inspiring to be around those people who believe in you. And we're lucky to have that at Comedy Inc. And hopefully because of that, we're growing. We're putting on like good quality comedy for the venue and for the audience, and money should come. And I want to get there because I've got a daughter to feed.
Yes.
Right, and I want to have pro nights. I want to have that progression.
Yeah.
And we will get there. If we have it by the end of this year, I'm not sure, but we'll definitely have it by this time next year. If not, my wife will make me go and get a job.
You don't want to do that.
No, I don't think I can get one. I think she's stuck. I think I'm the most overqualified, unemployable person.
So that's kind of the goal then with Comedy Incorporated, to have the progression into a pro.
Yeah. So you need the pyramid. Yeah. And also, I think we don't necessarily realise that as we're starting when you're in your first 10 years, is that, so you've written your half hour, you've done your hour, well, you've now got to write it again. So actually you do need to go to the points where it's just comics in the room and you're just fleshing out ideas.
Yeah.
And then go and do a room where there's 10 people in it who are audience, and then go and do a room where there's 50 or 100 people in it.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe as you get up to the far higher echelons, your room of just comics is your writing mates, just in a cafe somewhere. And then the first time you run it out is probably like in front of 80 people or something.
Yeah.
Right? Like we were very fortunate. So we were very fortunate to work with Signature Brew in Haggerston. Lots of love Signature Brew. Tuesdays, Signature Brew. And they had Troy Hawke on. Nice and Spiky were doing the gig there.
Yeah.
And they'd bumped us. And so they gave all the comics tickets.
Okay.
And so to go there and see, right, I'm going to pronounce your name wrong, and I apologise because you're hilarious, but I'm going to say Michelle Dessoise. Right, and she's got a TV series on the BBC called Broke, where about being a model in New York and losing all the money and coming back. Absolutely killer. Didn't even know she was on. She destroyed. She was amazing. Right, and then you're watching them, and then Troy Hawke. If you're not sure who Troy Hawke is, he's the person who does the greetings. And Jan Mulby's his boss, which is hilarious because he played left back for Liverpool. Right, he just randomly made up a name, and it's just like brilliant. And you're seeing like these upper echelon comics working and how they put it all together. And yeah, that's when you get the realization of, oh, I can't do that yet. But something which is cool to do. So Stuart Lee, I really like Stuart Lee. Not everyone likes Stuart Lee, but I really like Stuart Lee. He will frequently go and do work in progresses.
Yeah.
And go and watch like 2 or 3 of them like a month apart. And then you go and watch his Leicester Square show. And you can see what he's kept and what he hasn't kept and what he's worked on. Yeah, like really trying to get to grips with the underlying concept of the art form is something I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
All I just talk about is comedy structure. I must bore people.
No, I've seen a few famous comedians do their work in progress shows and stuff like that, and then you see the final thing, and you get to that point where you're watching the final thing, you go, oh yeah, I remember this bit coming up and this bit. And I've seen a few acts where I've been to the work in progress show and then I've taken the wife to the main show. And I'm thinking, she's not going to like the first joke. She's not going to like the first joke. She's going to hate it. And the first joke comes out and it's the one I think it is. But he's reworded it in such a way that it's like, she likes it.
But that's where the art form is.
Yeah, that's the whole thing about seeing how something changes. And
but seeing it, especially if you're a student of the art form, I love comedy. I just sit down and watch comedy. Like I love comedy.
Yeah.
I go and just watch shows. And when I go to show, I sit in the front and clap and don't play on my phone. I just want to point that out. Right? So, yeah, like, but you've got to, like, you're learning.
Yeah.
Like, and oddly, sometimes you learn what not to do.
Yeah.
I watched an MC the other day, a pro MC. I won't say what their name is, but did crowd work. The crowd work died, then tried to do crowd work again with someone else that also died.
Right.
And I was thinking, surely now just do something like a 90% joke that's definitely like virtually always works. Get the crowd back on site. And then started trying to do crowd work again, which died. And I was like, now everyone's talking. You've lost like the complete focus of the audience. And so now in my head, when I'm attempting to do my emceeing, as pathetic as it is, I know not to, I've seen someone else make that mistake.
Yeah.
So if I'm in that situation, I now know what to do, which kind of goes back to always pay attention.
Yeah, that is such an important thing, isn't it? It's that being in the room, being present and knowing what's going on around you. And if you pay attention to something, you can bounce off something else. Yeah. So if somebody made a joke about something or something was pointed out with an audience member that was friendly or whatever, and you kind of go, oh yeah, I used to do that. And you've immediately got a connection with that person and that audience member, and then that starts bringing people in, and then...
Especially something strange happens in the room, like just something odd happens. One of the chairs collapses.
Yeah. Oh. Don't ignore that. If you ignore that, then everybody's just thinking...
You can call back to it.
Yeah.
And also that kind of thing when it happens in the room, that's just between you and the room.
Yeah.
So that makes it feel extra special. That really pulls them closer.
Yeah.
It's more. So there's so many little things, and you see it and you don't even realise.
But it's when you do it as a comic and it works, it's so beautiful in that little moment. That I had a bit where I used to speak a bit of French on stage, just a quick phrase. Yeah, it was a bit more than that. But it was there was a French girl in the audience, and she'd been taking part in the show or whatever, and we knew what her name was. And I've got on stage and I've gone, before I start, Veronique, I'm really sorry, I'm about to butcher your country's language.
You've got a fan.
Yeah, and then I did it, and then I went, and she went, 6 out of 10. Yeah. That'll do me. But that, because of where she was situated in the room, she wasn't on her own, she was with other people. And then everybody's kind of like, this is only going to happen tonight.
The room's so interesting, that's the way it's set up. It's something I learned under the tutelage of the mighty Wallace. If anybody is learning to MC, go and see him. Don't ask me any questions ever. Go and see him. But something that's important is the layout of the audience. Now, I don't know if you remember, but maybe you do. Do you remember when we were first in the Rail Arch in South London? And we set it up, and so we had like left side, right side, and there was the gap in the middle, and it never quite worked.
Yeah.
I just told him, and he's obviously gone, well, I'll tell you why. Because you go set up, punchline, and you're doing the punchline to an empty bit of the room.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But until like you point it out. So loads of dumb things I've managed to do in comedy. You'll like this one because this was specifically dumb.
Okay.
Pretty dumb. So we'll do in the Dugdale Centre, I think it's 100 seats. It's 100 seats. I think there's 98 people there. Muggins has got himself his seat, which is in the front row centre. Right? So I can watch everyone because I'm interested in watching. But then I've realised every time they take a picture when I'm emceeing, there's one empty seat in the middle of the front row. That would be my seat. Yeah, but you sometimes making a really glaringly obvious dumb mistake, you remind yourself never to do it again.
Yeah. I think there's certain ways that some people, you can lay out a room. Every room's different, but you have to look at the room and how it needs to be laid out to make the best of what you've got.
Yeah. And also, especially when you're emceeing, if you're hosting, emceeing, slightly different, but the way you lay out the room makes your job easier. Right? All of the preparation you do before the audience turn up is actually what makes the night go well.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the boxers. They win the fight in the gym. They don't win it in the ring. It's all the hard work beforehand. And if you've done all the hard work beforehand, actually, it's very unlikely anything will go wrong. We very rarely get hecklers at Comedy Incorporated. Very, very rarely. Because the acts don't pick on the audience. No one has given permission for the audience to join in. Yeah. If that makes sense. And I particularly dislike it when acts heckle acts.
Yeah.
That annoys me. Because what they don't realise they think they're joking with their friend. I know it is, and I know it's innocent. But now what you've done is you've enabled that drunk, normally a dude, so we'll say dude, that drunk guy at the back to now shout out. Yeah. You haven't really thought about the consequence for the night. And I think thinking about it as being audience focused and being community focused is the best, in my opinion, is the best way. And that's kind of what I practice, what I preach. And that was very different from when I was younger, where it was more me, 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 me. Yeah. Now it's make sure everyone else has a nice time. So, yeah, if I don't book people, it's because they may make it difficult for everyone to have a nice time. Yeah. Fundamentally. Or I need to think, why have I spent 2 days away from my daughter flyering this weekend for you to sit on the back on your phone? I'm not going to book you. I'm going to book you. It's that simple. I think the message is getting across now. If you've not got the message. Don't sit on your phone. I hate it. I don't like it when comics heckle. But if everyone's there and they're having a lovely time and everyone's having a lovely time, it's not going to affect the night. It's just like a general idea. Just you don't know who the drunk person is at the back. But yeah, I want everyone to have a good time. It's like life has changed. I'm 44. I believe you're slightly younger than I am. I wish. Right, but when we went out, it was different. And this isn't an old thing. This is just a way COVID kind of fucked everything thing. We used to go out and we would go, I'll meet you at the pub at 7. Or whatever it was. And there was one pub we went to because it was the young people's pub, because there was a million pubs everywhere. And that was our pub. We met there and we decided what we were going to do. Right? There aren't a million pubs anymore. No. Right? It's nearly £8 for a beer. COVID has changed the mentality of the audience. So if they're coming out and you're going to convince them to see amateur comedy in London, because that's what it is fundamentally, nobody has ever, to say no one has, that would be unfair, but it must be the massive minority of people who have ever come to a comedy gig to see one of the comics. They've travelled out their way to see one of the acts. They obviously might be on their mates or whatever. Yeah. But no No one's ever gone, oh, Steve Mayne's performing, I've got to make the trip. It doesn't happen. We're not that level. Like, so you've got to put on the best show possible for them and for the show. And just focus on doing it.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean.
So I get very passionate about this.
Yeah, I've got that impression. I'm sure other people have as well.
No, good. And stop asking me how you get books on Tall Tales.
Do a good job at Comedy Incorporated and you get noticed.
Do you know what? It's just strange thing. So there isn't a booking process for Tall Tales.
No.
But
neither should there be.
No, there isn't. It's complete vanity for me. Honestly, I first started doing it because I just wanted to see these acts perform stories. And then I just love story. I love storytelling. It's my favourite form of comedy. I love a good crazy story. Might be why I love Townsend so much, right? But I love a crazy story. I love hearing about something in somebody else's life or how they've grown up or what their life experiences is in a funny way.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the way communities come together. Yeah, if you want to get booked at Tall Tales, it's pretty simple. You do a story, you do the same story, obviously you can work on it at all the 3 different venues. And then if it works at all 3 different venues, I'll put you on at the third. That simple. There is no secret handshake involved. Yeah, you don't need to buy any drinks. You don't need to get any of that. Something oddly I don't like. So yeah, none of that. Just be funny. Just love comedy, and then I will gravitate towards you.
So what's the Steve Mayne school of joke writing?
Okay. Firstly, I'll need to write a joke for that to happen. But if one was going to write a joke, I think, so this is how I generally do it. I'll think to myself and things will inspire me. So having a daughter, my baby daughter is very inspiring. Going out, be around inspirational things. It's very hard to be inspired if you're sitting in a room on your own with nothing around you.
Yep.
Go out and be inspired. Go and walk in a park. Go to a museum. We're blessed in London. You've got all the vast majority of museums are free. But go and be around an art gallery. Go and watch a live band play.
Yeah.
Go out and see something. I like going to Hyde Park, sitting under a tree, watching things. But you'll just get something if you're random.
Yeah.
Like a little kid letting go of his helium balloon. And you're seeing the kid cry, but I'm thinking the balloon's screaming, freedom!
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? It's just a dumb thought.
Yeah.
But that could turn into a joke. So I like watching interviews with songwriters because I think there is a similarity between the art of writing songs and doing comedy. I think there's George Carlin talks about the underlying jazz of comedy. So classical music crescendos. Right? So if you did that with the closing bit of a joke, you'd get a standing ovation because the emotional mood of the audience is driven to that right?
Yeah.
And so it's seeing, and when you start seeing that, we don't talk about it too much, but there was a year I couldn't perform for legal reasons. And I had to be home at 9:00 every day, work it out. And I watched, I think it was the 25 or 30 greatest stand-up specials. I just got the Rolling Stone list.
Yeah.
So completely arbitrary. Just use the Rolling Stone. They could use the IMDb list, doesn't matter. Right? And so you're watching comics that are doing political satire on politics I don't understand because it's old comedies from the 80s or whatever. But actually, no matter if you're Robin Williams or George Carlin or Stephen Wright even, I went to a general store and couldn't buy anything specifically, right? Mitch Hedberg, not as much, but...
I love Mitch.
I love Mitch.
Mitch is just,
I want to be a race car passenger. Such a brilliant joke. Do stairs break or do they just become... Do escalators break or do they just become stairs?
Yeah.
Love that joke. But you're seeing how they structure and how they do things.
Yeah.
And the vast majority, obviously, the outlier is Hedberg, because he never did any callbacks. But I hear he did, when he performed live, he would shout out to the audience, are there any jokes I haven't said?
It wouldn't surprise
It'd be like the rice joke.
Oh, the rice joke, yeah.
The rice joke. I like rice when I want to eat 1,000,000 of the same thing, right? Yeah. It's like, I went to the doctor who just keeps sucking my blood. I've got to stop seeing Dr. Acula. Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant joke. But you're more typical guy. I think Elephant in the Room, the Patrice O'Neill, is my favourite stand-up special of all time, bar none. Obviously, there's the Pryor ones, which are brilliant. Pryor's got my favourite joke of all time. Joan Rivers is my second favourite joke of all time.
Yeah.
My daughter asked me what a blowjob was, and I said, darling, it's 2 steak dinners and a diamond watch. It's just a brilliant joke. It's a brilliant joke. Oh, sorry if that's offending. It's just a brilliant joke. Like, and like when you just hear all of these brilliant things, and then the structure underneath them, Chain River structure is brilliant. Like, because you're seeing how it builds up. Because the last joke, so you get that crescendo, the bit, is that everything's being tied in at the end. Fundamentally, the last joke is tying up every single thing you've heard throughout that previous half hour or hour, depending how long the special is. And it's very hard for us to do when we're doing 5 minutes, right? But when you start doing 10 minutes or like 10s, 5 to 7 is a small jump, 5 to 10 is much bigger. 7's generally you're just extended what the 5 was. Yeah. 10 you have to do a new bit of story. When you start doing 15s and 20s, like the way you've got to manipulate the audience changes. You can't just be bash for 20 minutes. Yeah. It's tiring.
Yeah, I find 7 minutes is actually what your 5 minutes worth of material should be.
Well, because you've got the pauses and the audience laughter.
Yeah.
Your 5 minutes set's really 4 minutes 20.
Yeah. What? If you create a 5 minute set, then that should in theory be your 7 minute set. Your 5 minutes of material should be your 7 minute set.
I think when you're rehearsing at home, which I need to do more of. But if I'm rehearsed, so generally I don't really do vibes. I didn't mean it like that. Yeah. But you know what I mean. If I'm rehearsing, I'm doing new material. So new material for me will be a 7. Firstly, it won't all be new material. Yep. The opening joke and the closing joke, they might be slightly different versions of one I've done before, but I would never want to leave a stage on a down. No. Even though obviously I have, because I have died frequently. That has happened. But it's never my intention. Yeah. So the Malcolm X joke, which I don't really do anymore. Oh, I love that joke. That Malcolm X is great. What happened to the first 9 Malcolms? Yeah. The actual Malcolm in the middle bit, a comic gave to me. Oh, mate. I literally saw him the other day at Townsend's gig. He's going to kill me. But yeah, a comic gave me that joke. It's not my joke, right? I didn't write the Malcolm in the middle. Yeah. I'm not pretending I did. Someone gave it to me. But it's the one you can talk about at the end. And the only way you can get that talking at the end, because you've stayed and watched everyone's set. Yeah. And you've sat at the front and you've watched them. Mm-hmm. There's something, Kim Hope, I remember, and I'd done this as well, and I didn't even realise, but Kim Hope did it to me once. And I was on stage, and I don't know why I was doing terribly. Normally I'm amazing, but just to see like Kim there, with the like Aussie charm, just looking at you and smiling like it's going to be all right. Yeah. God, I've got you on my side, and sometimes that's all you need. And I can't remember. I'm just terrible with names, especially when on painkillers. But there's a guy, and he's really funny, and I book him, and he got to the finals of the GMB All-Star thing, and he does, is it Susan Cigarettes or Caroline Cigarettes? And he does like a slideshow about the history of tobacco. And it's obviously complete tongue-in-cheek, and it's like cigarettes were invented by Susan Cigarette, and like, because she needed something to do during a cigarette break, and cigarettes hadn't been invented yet, or something like, but like, I was just amazed by it. I just love the creativity of it. Yeah. I think it's amazing. And he came up to me at the All Stars, and because I roast Kyle Wallace generally. He didn't know that I was he doesn't know that this was my plan, but I've now done it so often it kind of feels like I have to do it ongoing. Right. But yeah, so I did that. So I was there, and then he did his set, and I think he told me then, or maybe the time before, but it was like the first time he did it. It wasn't going well, and it was at the Star Kings at GMB. And you know, sometimes when someone's not doing, they've just forgot something, and you're like, I don't know what to do, and then someone starts clapping, and everyone claps, and then everything goes great. Yeah. I was at the front and started clapping, and I would have done it for anyone. I can't even remember doing it. Yeah. It was obviously a heavily painkiller-sided day. But that's what you're supposed to be if you love comedy. You're supposed to support and encourage and bring people together. Yeah. And I'm pleased that Drunk Steve still believes in that. Yeah. And Kim did that for me. I've done that when I tried to do it for as many people as possible. We had somebody at Comedy Incorporated, I won't say their name, obviously, but they had a bad stage experience. I made sure the next day I sent them a message going, don't worry, one day it'll happen to you in front of a full house of your peers at the Bill Murray.
Yeah.
That happened to me. But everybody has them. You can't, it's part of the process.
Yeah.
If you do not want to be judged, do not be a stand-up.
The worst feeling I think ever is when you know you're dying and you're like, just make this end now, kind of thing, and it just keeps going and going and going, and that death is like.
I've had to perform. I've stopped until my knee's fixed. I'm not going to bore you with my knee. I need knee surgery. I've ripped the meniscus. It means I can't start for West Ham at the start of the season. It's terrible, right? But I've had to take like crazy tremadors that I can hear my words slightly slurring, like type of thing. But I couldn't focus with the audience. And Barry Matthews runs brilliant gigs. He's got a gig in Brixton, had a gig south of London, which I just did. And you're on painkillers and you're trying to figure out, so you get that, like, what's happening. I have no doubt I had that at the start. It definitely happened at the Bill Murray that night. I just want this to end.
Yeah.
Because it was a roast battle, I was hoping that he would make it funny.
Yeah.
And doing a roast battle, always do it with a comic who you know is going to bring the fucking... and do it, Gary Walsh. He likes doing them. Love you, Gary. Yeah, dying on stage, horrible. But I think sometimes, right, I don't know if a joke's going to be funny. I don't think anyone knows if a joke's going to be funny.
Yeah.
But I do think you can write well enough to understand that all parts of that joke should create humour. I've been on painkillers, so some silly painkiller joke. So Colin the Caterpillar cakes, they're tasty. They're so tasty, I've never seen a chocolate butterfly. Right?
Yeah.
I've done that on stage and it works. But in theory, that joke should always work.
Yeah.
Because it's got all the parts of a joke. It's got something that is universally known.
Yep.
It's universally known as something a bit ridiculous because it's a chocolate caterpillar that generally children eat.
Yeah.
Okay. But what you're saying is they're so tasty. You won't see a chocolate butterfly. Well, you'll never see a chocolate butterfly because it's not real. You're just playing on the fact that caterpillars turn into butterflies.
Yeah.
You're not going, I'd like a chocolate chrysalis, which is what they turn into the middle. You're doing that. But in theory, all of that should be silly enough and short enough for it to be funny.
Yeah.
So as long as when you're writing your jokes, you view it as an audience, it should, in theory, make it harder. Harder to die on stage.
And one question I did actually want to ask you:
Go on.
Have you always been the type of comic you are now, or do you think you've changed?
I think I'm an exaggerated version on stage who I am off stage.
No. What I mean is, from your start of a comedy journey to the sort of jokes you would tell and the sort of way you would structure them to what you are now.
Yeah.
How's that?
So I think the concept of my jokes have changed. It used to be all, hey.
Lad.
Well, not necessarily, I've never been a lad, but they would be lad-esque stories, I suppose.
Yeah.
They would be stories that would entertain your American Pie, Wolf of Wall Street fodder. But actually, that's not who I am as a person.
No.
I'm not saying I wasn't that, but that isn't who I currently am as a person. I've obviously got a daughter. Well, obviously, I have a daughter. Shouldn't be obvious. I have one. I've got a daughter. And I think I don't like drinking stories to end on an up. I kind of like them now to have a moral of why you shouldn't do it. Right?
Yeah.
And I think it's an age thing. You can look. I've been through enough life cycles now that I can start looking back and realizing mistakes I made.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you realize the mistakes you make when you're younger are based on the fact you don't know who you are. And you're not being true to who you really are. You're being misled, or you're being influenced by people who know better, or just like culture in general.
Yeah.
And I think as you get older, you go, why the fuck am I, what? Why am I doing this?
Yeah. I'm always intrigued by how people's comedy changes over time and stuff like that.
I think that's the change. Like, and putting up with this people's bullshit. You're waiting, I'm saying, literally waiting there to find out if I want to have a ball chopped off. Someone's complaining about, someone told this joke, you're like, I don't give a fuck, I don't care.
Yeah.
I've actually got something important. You are making noise. There is no value in what you are saying. Like, you're not helping or hindering, you are achieving nothing, you're standing still. And I think as you get older, when you realise you've got less time in front of you, especially when you've been through cancer scares or losing liberties and those like really big things, you become far more focused about what you want to achieve.
That's a philosophical thing.
I've got less time ahead of me than I had behind me.
That's always, I find that quite scary. But
I find that like quite helpful ever. Like I don't think there is a God or a heaven. Like I can't see any evidence of that. I'm not going to dispute if there is one or not.
No.
Like mathematically, there must be a God because there's an infinite amount of universe, and therefore every opportunity is possible. Therefore, there might be a God that created one. I just don't think it's this one. Like I think there's aliens. I just don't think they found us. Like that. Do you know that type of thing? Like crazy, giant mathematics. And I think you've got to sometimes have that realization. Like there's a lot of, and I assume it's in every industry, but I hear it a lot in open mic comedy with the newer comics. You were brilliant. It was the audience. Oh, they let you down. Like it was always someone else's fault. And I think as soon as you start taking responsibility for everything you're doing, like in life and on stage, but comedy podcasts, so on stage, when you take responsibility for that, should I be performing if I'm on painkillers? No. How do I know that? Because I did it 3 times and I died every time. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So I could just go and do this, but fundamentally, I'm not doing myself any service.
Yeah.
Because I'm not writing any new jokes because I'm on painkillers. I'm taking stage time away from somebody who should have that opportunity. And fundamentally, my boss is the audience. The audience aren't having fun. If the audience won't have fun, that booker won't book me again.
Yeah.
So I had the self-realization that you can't do your job at the moment. Do something else. Right. So if you're going on stage and you're constantly not doing well, stop blaming the audience.
Yeah.
Have the realization that the reason it's not working is because either you're not telling the jokes properly or the words in the jokes aren't in the right order. Because it can only be those 2 things. You're either not selling the joke or the joke fundamentally doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because I have seen people go on stage with no jokes. Obviously, that's part of their act, by the way. They haven't purposely gone on stage with no jokes, but literally played with a microphone stand for 5 minutes and had everyone in stitches.
Yeah.
Right? I've seen people go on stage with everything written and rehearsed, and it's gone on stage and it seems so written and rehearsed that it kind of feels like it's like an AI robot talking to you.
Yeah.
Right? And that hasn't worked.
Yeah.
And I think only now, in the past calendar year probably, I now go on stage and I love my audience, but I refer to it as a marginal disdain. Like, you're at my party, but it's still kind of my party.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Maybe not the right way of phrasing it. But I want to make sure you all have fun, and I want to make sure you have fun. But I don't necessarily need to always enjoy the fact I'm here to make you have fun.
Right.
So I don't mind if that slightly comes across. Oh, you're still haven't decided what drink to buy. Like, you can say that with somebody's at the bar, because there's a private bar in Putney, or Haggerston's obviously that giant space. Oh, you still, don't you keep shaking that ice.
That was so.
You keep shaking it. Oh no, don't worry about us. I'm amazed they're here as well. You keep shaking the ice, right? Like, you've got to have kind of. I'm on your side. Like the MC is the maitre d' of the party.
Yeah.
Right? I'm the master of comedy. Like, I'm going to introduce everyone to the stage. This is my stage. You know it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
If no one else turned up, I will make you laugh for 35 minutes until I run out of material or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not that bad, whatever. Right? But everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And it seems like conceived chaos, but I can assure you there are 2 stopwatches happening at all times. And if you overrun, I will get you off the stage, right? We are going to finish on time. If you've arranged a babysitter so you can get here tonight, we will finish 9:30, 20 to 10.
Yeah.
You'll be out the door at 9:45 latest. That's what I've told you on the ticket. That is what will happen. And you've got to have that respect. You've got to have that love. It's just all got to work. What was the question?
I can't really remember.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
That's the beauty of this. You think there's some structure to this podcast?
No, it's like my comedy. No structure.
Here is a structured question for you. A standard common question I always ask comedians is when you put on bigger shows and things are, you've got a solo show or wherever it is, and you want to put that bit more effort into it, and you decide I'm going to walk onto music.
Yep.
What is your chosen walk-on
obviously,
song?
I come on to walk-on music. So, Comedy Incorporated, we come on for I come on to Lust to Life. 2000 Cocktails, I come on to Miseraloo. Ding, 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 ding. Pulpit.
Yeah.
But at the very first ever Tool Tales we did, which was at the Drayton Arms Theatre, we had a guitarist.
Oh.
I came on to A Whole Lot of Love.
Okay.
But yeah, if I was, so when what did I come on when we did the split with Jim? I came on to anything in particular. But if I was choosing, it would be London Calling by The Clash or The Champ by Ghostface Killer from the Wu-Tang.
Okay.
Well,
Interesting.
Just because the opening bit's brilliant, it's like hypey.
Yeah, I do like the everyone knows I'm a big fan of walk-on music. I do like the way you got walk-on music in Haggerston.
I've got walk-on music, all of them.
Yeah, but even if people aren't picking it,
so is that?
Because I remember I think it was the last one I did at Haggerston. You asked me to keep an eye on the sound desk because the sound guy wasn't there, and I can't remember who was it. Though I can't remember who was going on near the end. Will Burke.
Oh, Billy Burke.
Yeah.
Love you, Bill.
And everybody, because the theme's obviously a bit more rock and pop and metal and stuff. So there's that track that just plays and everybody comes onto. But for him, I think I put the Cheeky Girls on or something else like that, just to see but having full faith that it's not going to derail somebody.
Do you know what they like? So Captain Jack Scullion has done the music. Rob Dan does the music quite a bit. Jim Townsend does it. I don't mind who does it. I'm quite happy for anyone to do the music.
Yeah.
But like, if you're going to do it, do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, do it. But if they're going to do it properly.
Yeah.
Like, go and set up the songs. Obviously, the set list is always known in advance at my shows anyway. And yeah, if you want to play about, play about. Some people want particular walk-on music. More at Tall Tales. They'll have music that comes on because it's more, a set at Tall Tales is 20 minutes. Generally, it's 20, 20, 20, 20. It's 2 halves. Yeah, I like walk-on music. And also, I think it re-establishes the connection with the audience. It's like an easy palate clean. Because if someone's done incredibly well or incredibly badly, you need to reset the audience. And I think sometimes when you're emceeing, even if someone's done well, you can't keep going. Now just keep that going and get them on. Right? You can kind of do that once, but the second time, you now need to address the audience.
Yeah.
You just need a little pause. Now you've been laughing a lot in the past 12 minutes. I'm now going to tell you a story, which I know is only 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes, so when I'm emceeing, a joke which is actually 2 lines can suddenly turn into 3 minutes because what you're doing is you're managing time. So I might need the audience to relax, be it come up because something hasn't gone quite as well, or come back down if something's gone really well.
Yeah.
You want the audience, I want the act to come on to a 6 out of 10 bubbling audience. Know when you're cooking pasta and it wants rolling bubbles. That's what I want the audience just.
Yeah.
Marc Cox is on, yeah, great.
Yeah.
Right. So they're going to give you the best, right? I also purposely, if I'm doing bits before, end on a down joke. Now, not on a down joke as in a bad joke, but a joke which hits you here. Ooh.
Yeah, yeah.
Because generally speaking, acts come on and they will do a light, fluffy head joke. Oh, I look like, or, whatever.
Yeah.
The joke is. But the emotional move in the audience is bigger. Ooh, ha, ha, ha. So it actually gives the act more chance because the audience are like, oh, I've just had a big emotional move and you've created that.
Yeah.
It's been created by the MC and everything that's gone on before it. And it gives them more time. Good. But the music's important because the music refocuses the audience. The music like, right, flash music, next act.
Yeah.
And if the room isn't that busy, it kind of gets a bit more.
Yeah, it adds a bit more feel to the room and it's that some people when they'll hear a particular song and the foot starts tapping and they start smiling, and when they start smiling they're ready. Yeah.
So I normally do classic when I'm doing the set list. It's classic rock. There's like AC/DC in there, ding, da da ding. Because it gets the foot tapping, or like old school like 90s hip hop like Dr. Dre stuff, just because everybody knows it and they focus on it. But yeah, I love it when other people do the music and all of a sudden you hear mad crazy stuff.
So, Steve, what are the top 3 things that people can do to get booked on Comedy Incorporated?
The top 3 things to get booked on Comedy Incorporated. Fill in the anything Steve should know question. If you don't do that, you just simply will not get booked, right? If you want the other tricks of the trade, turn up to a show and say hello to me. And then on the anything Steve should know, remind me of this. That will also definitely get you books. And thirdly and finally is the be groovy to all people at all times. So sit at the front, be a brilliant audience member, and just make the night better for everyone. We work as a team. Yeah. 3 things, easy.
What about 3 worst things you can do?
3 worst things.
The opposite of what we just said.
Yeah, but right. Think you're bigger than the night. I don't put on nights for you, right? I put on nights for the audience. You are here to help everyone make the audience have the best experience. So if you're going to be miserable, don't be in the room. Rule number 1, right? Treat the venue, the acts, and me with respect for the effort we all putting in. if you are a dick to be around, I will not book you. And the general thing is if you've got to drive to Luton's normally the thing. Because if you're a dick in a open mic in Putney, I'm not going to sit with you in an hour drive somewhere, right? And the final one, never ever roast the audience ever.
Follow the rules.
Yeah, follow the rules. Be groovy to everyone at all times is really my philosophy.
So on a less serious note then, there is
the competition.
The Easter egg that's been sat here.
Well, I'm excited by it.
The Easter egg of shit jokes.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they're all that bad.
Some of them are better than some people's main
Somebody
stuff.
did one of your jokes. And I went up to them and went, I really like that last bit. And they went, oh, that was the... And I was like, oh. And then pretended I needed to go somewhere else. I didn't know what else to say.
No, I like to set all comedians that come on here a challenge to tell a joke from this joke book called The Little Book of Shit Jokes by Sid Finch. The comedians get to pick a joke from this book to tell live on stage, record it, film it, post it on Instagram. We can all laugh and how well or badly it went. They can incorporate into a set, tell it standalone exactly how they want. But I don't get to pick the joke by the words. I only get to pick it by page number. So if you want to give me a number between 5 and 95, and before you say the number, if you pick one that's already been picked, we go again. And we keep going because no two comedians should have the same joke.
11.
Legs 11. Both have gone.
Okay. 21?
Both have gone. You're picking the most common numbers here.
Well, 11 is my daughter's day of birth. 21st is mine. You're now thinking, Steve, what's your wife's? Don't get that wrong. Let's go for 42. We good?
We are good. You've got a bit of a story.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. A teacher.
Hey, she's writing it off.
A teacher asks her class, what is the name of the tallest type of building? One boy raises his hand. Libraries, he says. The teacher looks puzzled. Why do you say that? The boy replies, because they have the most stories.
Very good. Very good.
That's the word.
When I was a teacher, and I don't think I say this on stage, this is true, it's just a nice thing. It's just a nice thing. When you're doing fractions, if you're teaching young children, you imagine it's like a pizza or a cake.
Yep.
So I'd go to students, what's their favourite flavour cake? And 9 times out of 10 they would say...
Chocolate.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
So I'm not a chocolate cake fan, believe it or not.
I know, but you could imagine most people...
Yes, of course.
I had the best answer ever. Right, I think 6-year-old, he goes, birthday cake comes with presents.
I like that. I do like that.
It's great. The way, so working with children, obviously having my daughter, the way they connect the dots in the world actually is inspiring if you're writing jokes. Because the way they see something, so it'd be like, so like my knees hurt, so like if my daughter gets you, so if they like fall over, you like give them a kiss.
Yeah.
Is it better now? Because generally when they're falling over, it's they're kind of just more shocked they're falling over. There's not actually anything wrong. And I came back and I was on crutches. And she ran over to me and kissed my knee.
Yeah.
And went, there you go, Daddy, that's all better now. I was like, oh.
Yeah, if only. If only.
That was true. It did make me feel better though.
So, it's the plug time. We've done loads of plugging already.
Okay, right, so it's all pretty simple.
Where can people find you online?
Right, so my Instagram is Steve, 3 H's. Steve. Comedy Incorporated is just Comedy Incorporated. Tall Tales and Cocktails is Tall Tales and Cocktails, as in Tall Tales, Tales, Tales and Cocktails. If you follow me, you kind of end up seeing everything for the others as well. If you'd like to book for Comedy Incorporated, we do bookings about every 2 months. We only do shows January to November, so it's pretty much every 2 months, and then the last one is a slightly longer booking form. That booking form normally stays up for about 3 days, and then I take it out and do all of the admin. So if you see it, book it, because if you just message me for spots, I will go wait for the booking form, because we get loads of things.
Yeah.
But that's about it. But do go, G&B Comedy, that's 5 nights a week. That's Sunday to Thursday. Carl Wallace. Gary Walsh's show's up in Clapham. Chris's show, even though he's still not booked me back because we got rearranged. Chris, I'm waiting for the phone call. Who else do we love? Lucy, who runs Astro Kitty. I did her gig. I'm sorry, Lucy, for not being able to remember your surname, but I really, really enjoyed it. And thank you very much for inviting me. It's a great gig to do, Astro Kitty. We really love these people. James Townsend down in Bexley. Hook him up.
Jim and Emmy. Oh, of course. It was a privilege to do Copper Cats. That was wonderful. Downstairs there with the wonderful Jim Hooker and the magic Emmy Files, who we all love. Support them. Just support the people who are trying their best on comedy. And that's it. Just support them. Love the art. Everybody get better. And we just want audiences to laugh. And then at the end, drink tequila and have a cuddle. I think that's what we want. Isn't that the plan? Yeah, that's a good plan.
That's the plan.
And you can find us on Instagram, Open Mic Comedy Pod. We've got a website, openmiccomedypod.com. I'll ask this every single time, but most people ignore it. Please, whichever platform you're listening to us on, please give it a like, follow, subscribe, and all of that jazz. Add a comment on YouTube, add a comment on Spotify, wherever you're listening to this.
Surely you could post a clip of your favourite interviewee or interviewer, what way round's that? Can't remember. Right? But you could post that on Instagram going, I really enjoyed this episode with the Spotify link, couldn't you? So your friends could know exactly what one you're watching.
Yeah.
Would that help your ratings?
That would.
Nice. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for coming here.
Thank you so much. You're absolute joy, and thank you so much for all the help with Comedy Incorporated and just friendship in general. I really appreciate it, and for doing this for the community, it's really important. So I think everyone who's listening now stare at your iPhone and give Mark a round of applause like this. Okay? And he particularly likes it if you blow him kisses.
Yeah, a 5-star review rating would be great as well. But no, so thank you for your time today, Steve.
No worries, thank you.
And for everybody else, I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Thank you.